Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to start with a biblical story about David and Goliath. David was a shepherd and he joined his 3 brothers in the war against Philistines, and he was a very smart boy. No one dared to challenge the giant, but David first talked to his fellow soldiers to understand the situation. Then he observed the giant and the battlefield and decided that in a close combat he wouldn't be able to defeat him. So he used his slingshot, and basically with one shot he killed the giant. Today I would like to share with you some tips and tricks how to analyze your combat field, how to understand your competition, and how to succeed. My name is Peter Fodor. I'm a founder of AppAgent. We are a mobile marketing department for hire. So basically, we are helping to gaming startups and mobile teams, all things marketing, from app store optimization over analytics, user acquisition, running soft launches, to, let's say, data analysis. We are working, for example, for Polish CI games, or awarded studio About Fun, or US-based startup TradeWise. The first sin is about missing a unique selling proposition. This isn't any marketing bullshit. This basically means to have a reason why people should care about your game. This means that you have something unique, something what makes them excited about your product. And the sooner you define this in your development process, ideally in the pre-production phase, the better for you, because this can serve you also as a lighthouse for your game design, for making tough decisions and to keep the vision all the time during the production. The second sin is a vague definition of target group. You will be surprised how many teams, my teams, have very poor definition who are the players. Quite often they say, hey, that's guys 18 to 25, but that's not enough. There are some of you who are into user acquisition, so you know that once there's a soft launch and your task is to start the first acquisition wave, you know whom to target. You need more details. Ideally, the best is to have someone specific in mind, someone you know in person. So you can design the game for that person, so you can really think, hey, this feature, this game mode, is it fitting my audience? Is it something they are excited about? Is it something they would appreciate? And later on, once you are approaching the global launch, it's much easier to start campaigns and get a really good match of your game and their expectations. The third sin is no category research. Just a few weeks ago, Eric Seufert presented a way how to use free AppAny data to analyze the battleground, to understand the competition landscape. And this means that you should already in the pre-production phase, when you have the idea, to think if you are going the right direction, if the category is the right one. It was my mistake a couple of years ago that we have started doing a trivia game. And actual trivia has fantastic downloads, really loads of downloads, but no one is paying there. So once we launched that game, we had big downloads, but it was a massive fail in terms of monetization. You can use prior data, AppAny, mobile action, sensor tower, whatever available, whatever mobile marketing intelligence to understand trends, leaders, how are your competitors communicating. So do the math with financials as well as understanding the overall situation, and then decide which direction to go and which game you should build. The fourth sin is missing the free-to-play and premium difference. Of course, you know the difference in business models, that's clear. But many teams miss the difference in the needs of different roles in the team. When you are creating premium game, it's much more art. It's expressing yourself. If you are creating free-to-play game, it's much more about numbers, data, changing the game on the go based on the analytics and the feedback. Also, there are several game genres which suit each model differently. Let's say adventure game could be very difficult to make as a good free-to-play game. Also, if you want to do premium, you should probably look more on, let's say, Steam desktop platforms where people are willing to pay more rather than Google Play. The last thing here is that free-to-play requires more people, data analysts, user acquisition managers, lots of new roles and completely different mindset, and also requires more money to fund the development, fund the acquisition, and for the growth of the business. So keep this in mind and make the decision early, because a friend of mine, 2 years ago, he was doing his first game. He was originally a producer of Mafia game. So it was clear that he started creating a premium game that was something close to his heart. But under pressure of a publisher, he changed the model after the launch from premium to free-to-play. And guess what? It was a complete disaster because it doesn't work. So it has to be really on the very beginning, clearly defined, and then start to build the core game loop around the mechanics, which are either free-to-play or it's a purely premium game. The fifth sin is launching on many platforms. I know it's very tempting not to launch on many platforms because using Unreal Engine or Unity makes this much easier than in the past. But from my experience, if you have an iOS version of the game, to create a solid Android version takes from 4 weeks to 2 months. And if you're a small team, this could be really a trouble in terms of finances, in terms of motivation of the team, and also you can't say that it will be a success. So my tip here is start on one platform. Use this exclusivity to pitch Apple or Google that you are starting exclusively on their platform. They like it. And if the game has the traction, then you can go to other platforms, use this traction, use that brand recognition, and start much easier on another platform without a risk that you will invest another 2 months into the development. The sixth sin is not having a marketing budget. This is more for free-to-play, where you should allocate about 1/3 of your budget for marketing. It's not just about money for the media, for user acquisition. You should also change your assets in the store, try different channels. Yesterday, Karem from Gram Games mentioned that they are investing 50% of their marketing budget into experiments, into trying new acquisition sources. So it's really like financially heavy. So you should count with this from the very beginning when you are planning your overall budget. Also keep in mind that free-to-play is a long-term iterative business, so usually it takes much more time to really get to the break-even and have a profitable game. The next one, about financials again. Forgetting the cash flow. That's something what was mentioned 2 talks ago. I will give you an example. Imagine that you acquire a user for $2. So when the user pays for the first in-app purchase, let's say a starter pack, you get $140 net revenue. But this happens, let's say, a week after the install. So then you are waiting another days, weeks, or even months until the next payment. And during that period, you are still like investing into that player and waiting for the return of investment. And then another thing comes, the payment period, which is usually 45 days. So in total, it could take from 2 to 4 months until you get your money back to your account. So this could be something what can really slow down your growth, and not just for small and mid-sized teams, even big studios which are launching, let's say, more games in a soft launch, have quite big troubles to reinvest this and wait for the money. And if you're not aware of this issue, then you will hit the wall with empty account and you have to wait for your money, and it completely slows you down. You are dropping from charts, and you are not maintaining the momentum. The 8th sin is rejecting mobile ads. 96% of your players will never pay you. So it's a good idea to get at least some money from them back, especially on Google Play. And if you do it right, if you integrate, let's say, rewarded videos into the core game loop, it could even help you, not financially, but in terms of revenue or monetization. 2 examples here. If you, for example, have a match-free game and your player runs out of lives, you can offer a video for one more try, one more life. So Otherwise, the player will leave your game and will be lost. If you use this type of motivation, you can either get some money that the player will install a new game, or he will or she will stay in the game for one more session or even longer if passes the level. Or if you offer a premium item like a strong sword to defeat some opponent, that player could have the feeling and the personal experience what it means to have this premium item, so the next time in the same situation, it's more likely that he or she will buy the item for real money. On a side note, in one of my games, which I've published, we have the revenue about 37% from ads. So 1/3 of revenue is coming only from ads. So it's quite decent revenue stream. The ninth sin is mostly for premium indie developers. The truth is that mobile media in general has gone through a big change in the last 2-3 years. Many sites have closed or were sold. Touch Arcade is, begging for money on Patreon. And it's because people changed their behavior. Today, I believe that few of us are searching games actively, reading articles or reviews. We just go to the App Store, look on the chart of what's curated there, some tips from Apple and Google, or we just stumble upon some game in our news feeds. That's it. So don't expect today that you will get some decent downloads when there will be a review on some outlet. It's good to have some social proof, some quotation for your app description. It's also perfect for the pitch to Apple and Google. If they read that, for example, Pocket Gamer mentioned your game as, new Clash of Clans hit, then it will very likely open new doors. But basically, that's it. Otherwise, don't have bigger expectations. Next, skipping the soft launch. Another friend of mine was running out of money. He was finishing his game for 18 months, team of 10, really tough situation. The investor was pushing him. And I begged him to invest one more week into the soft launch, just to have one retention wave to acquire a few hundred of users, make some initial measurements, and see how people react, if there are some bugs or errors. But under the pressure, he launched the game. I've secured him featuring via Apple and Google. We've got 1 million downloads in 2 weeks. But financially wise, it was a disaster because he hadn't optimized the game before. He was rushing too much, and basically he missed the opportunity to get more money and also to have better reviews, so it slowed him down. And soft launch is not only about testing the game, it's also about testing marketing, testing who is your real target group, what's the right messaging, which visuals you should use. So it's all about learning and optimizing so you are ready on the day one when you are launching and you know what to do. Another good thing is that today, in today's landscape, basically no investor or publisher will offer you a deal without good numbers from soft launch. So if you are a small team, you are just starting, go to the soft launch on your own, invest some of your money because you've already invested lots of time into the game, get some numbers, and then you can pursue either investor or publisher or anyone else who can help you with the game. The last sin is not building on foundations. I've talked about giants on the beginning, and here you should be looking at giants, get inspired by them, because look at Supercell or King, how they leveraged their experience, their game mechanics, their backend infrastructure. So they basically cloned their games with some interesting twists, and they are lowering the risk of failing, and they are speeding up the development process. So please don't jump from one game genre to another one, trying new things. Of course, try new things, but try to build on your foundation, on your experience, on what you have learned during your previous development stage. My goal today was to give you some tips and tricks, how to understand the competition, the landscape, how to understand yourselves, your situation, and basically be more prepared for the current battle out there and be more successful. So thank you for your attention.